Hey guys, I have a song stuck in my head that I learned when I was a kid. Maybe you've heard it. It goes like this. The wise man built his house upon a rock. The wise man built his house upon a rock. The wise man built his house upon a rock, and the rains came tumbling down. Have you heard that song before? There is so much more to that song. It's about a parable that Jesus tells in the Bible. A parable is a story with a good meaning to it. Hey, why don't we use this as our Bible story today? I'm glad that I got that song stuck in my head now. You can find the story in Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 29. As Jesus was traveling, more and more people were following him. They were amazed at the things he said and the miracles that he performed. They even showed him a ton of respect by calling him Lord, which means Master. But there was a problem. As much as the people liked Jesus, a lot of them weren't doing the things that Jesus taught. It's like the people were saying they were his followers, but not really showing it. Jesus explained why this wasn't good by telling the people a parable. Jesus said, "Everyone who hears what I say and does it is like a wise man who builds his house on a rock. The rain comes down, the wind blows, the water rises, but the house does not fall down. Everyone who hears what I say and does not do it is like a foolish man who builds his house on the sand. The rain comes down, the wind blows, the water rises, and the house comes crashing down." Jesus told this parable not to teach about construction or real estate, but to show why it's important to follow and do what he teaches. In Jesus' story, there are two guys who are building different houses, but these houses represent our lives. One guy builds his house, or his life, on a rock. The rock represents Jesus' teachings. When the storms came, the house was safe. The storms represent hard times and problems that come into our lives. Now, let's take a look at what the other guy did. He built his house on the sand. The sand represents what the world tells us. And once again, a storm comes. Remember, the storm represents hard times, problems, and struggles. Do you remember what happens to the house on the sand when the storm came? Yeah, it fell down. When we don't follow Jesus' instructions, our life will be weak and fall apart. We need to build our lives on the solid rock of Jesus. When we build our lives on him, we have the strength to stand when the struggles come. Through hard times, through temptation, through frustration, through waiting, our house or our lives can withstand the storms of these trials in our lives because Jesus is our foundation. It's not us that's strong, but him. Our memory verse this week is Matthew 7:24. "Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock." Matthew 7:24. Be wise and build your life on Jesus. The wise man built his house upon a rock. The wise man built his house upon a rock. The wise man built his house upon a rock, and the rains came tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, and the house on the rock stood firm. But the foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand, and the rains came tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, and the house on the sand went splat! So build your life on the Lord Jesus Christ. So build your life on the Lord Jesus Christ. So build your life on the Lord Jesus Christ, and the blessings will come down.